My take on the Evgeny Plushenko men's free skating score of 167.67 points from 16 February 2006. I'm filming this over 18 years later. Wow, yeah. On Saturday, 26th July 2024. And I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And I went back and they put out a video on the YouTube channel Olympics Figure Skating back in January 2022, covering or containing footage of this performance. And of the performance, video publication date of Wednesday, 5 January 2022. And I'll link that in the video description, or at least try to. And I did, whether I put out a video on this channel at one point in time where I talked about what Olympic Games I watched at the time, and I did watch the 2006 Turin Olympic Games, and this man was actually somebody I watched. Yes. But it was interesting revisiting this. I was like, I remember this competition. I remember this guy. So yes, I did see him at the time back in 2006. So I'm coming back around, 18 years after I watched this at the time. I am between 31.00 and 32.00 years of age currently, in talking about it. So I'm going to talk through the Evgeny Plushenko of Russia men's free skating and the men's singles figure skating competition at the 2006 Winter Olympic Games in Turin, Italy. Score of 167.67 points in the final on Thursday, 16 February 2006. With his score, he achieved first place. I provide my take/perspective on his performance and contextualize it in terms of his performance contributing to him winning the gold medal in men's singles figure skating. Medals were determined based on results in two separate events, short program and free skating. And I'm going to choose to do this here because I did watch this back in 2006, and I was a swimmer at that point in time, and swimmers could not comprehend how medals worked in figure skating. There was especially the club year swimmers, like the people who swam year round and went on to compete in college and stuff like that, they just lacked the basic connect the dots ability for how medaling worked in figure skating. And so I actually had to explain that. I was kind of like, for people who swim year round, you would expect them to know that kind of a thing. Or is the summer leaguer the one who knows that? Yeah, that kind of. So this was a very eye-opening Olympic Games, and more specifically individual and performance. So yeah, and I am of both, by ancestral origins, both Italian and Russian. So it was so cool to see a Russian in Italy. Right? And I'm from northern Italy, and Turin isn't like my ancestral origins I'm from, kind of thing. And Turin is in northern Italy, so far as I can recall. So there was I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, he's appealing to me, us modern Romans, descended from Roman times, so and before. But yeah, so it was a cool one to watch, and a joy to watch. But so how medaling works. So, and it's a very enjoyable performance. So that's part of why I'm linking to it. Not that if I don't link to something, it's not an enjoyable performance. I liked the music. A lot of people get sucked into fad music in sports where there's music to routines, and he had tasteful music taste. He had classy music taste. I think that's how I phrased it back in 2006. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was very well executed, and he was a different figure skater in that for Winter Olympic sports, I had enjoyed watching women, and then he kind of came along and I was like, I like watching him. Not necessarily I enjoy watching men, but I enjoy watching him. So this was a pivotal in my spectating for winter sports. He's a pivotal person in my life story in a good way. So for medals in this men's singles, there were 2 separate events, right? And there's a final in each event. And so there's a short program, which is it's shorter, and then a free skating, which per my understanding is like they have a little bit more liberty and it's a little bit longer. And then once this, so in each event, so short program and free skating, there are scores that are awarded, and then at the end, the medal went to the person with the highest combined score. So, yeah, I remember liking it back then. It really, a lot of the club swimmers didn't like it. They were like, but I want to win medals in every single thing I do. And I was like, isn't it nice that somebody, I remember this particular Olympics and this particular event and this particular person being like, but I like it this way because it shows proficiency in sport. Right, it shows that this person can, the overarching event is men's singles figure skating, right? So it shows that he can skate as a man singly in figure skating, right? Versus in swimming, there's how many individual events, right? And I'm like, so essentially what should be done is points should be awarded for each of those and then tallied, and whoever has the highest points gets that 1 gold medal, right? To be on the same level as figure skating. And like, it's, if there's an inflationary sport, swimming or track and field, right? Those are both guilty of it, but figure skating, at least as it's existed thus far in my lifetime, has not been. So it's been much more humble and modest. So there we go. That's my take on the Evgeny Plushenko men's free skating score of 167.67 points from 16th February 2006.